All right, bachcho. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's begin with the first paper, that is Feb March 2021 P1. All right, and okay, so the paper is of 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 50 minutes, 75 marks. All right, let's begin. Okay, so Iman, find the first three terms in the expansion. You know how to solve it? First three terms in the expansion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna write down all the first three terms. I'm gonna write down C. All right, we have this in bracket. This term is what we get called as A. This term is what we call as B. So if the value of A is 1, so we don't need to write down A in all the terms. All right, because it's 1. It doesn't matter, but whichever power it is raised to, the answer is going to be 1. So we're not going to write down A in each of these three terms. We're just going to write down C and B, which is C and X. C and X, then C and X, where C is basically the combination function. I'm going to write down the power of bracket, which is n, 5, and then 0, 0, 5, 1, 1, then 5, 2, 2. This is R and this is B. So the power of B and the value of R are basically equal in each term. All right. Now, there's going to be 1, there's going to be 5x, and there's going to be 10x square. Clear? Clear, hogi baat? Is it clear, all both of you, or not? People have to be a little quick in letting me know that whether it is clear to you or not, because we don't have that much time. All right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Iman, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Okay. Iman, then we are asked to find out the first three terms in the expansion of this. Okay, we can find out the expansion. Again, we have in place of A we have 1. So we don't need to write down A in each of these three terms. I'm just going to write down C and B, C and B, C times B. All right, and then 6, 0, 0, 6, 1, 1, 6, 2, 2. That's how you can quickly write down all the terms when you're expanding the bracket. All right, and then we have 1, and then minus 12 of x, then it's going to be 6 5 is 30 over 2 is 15 times 4 is 60x square. All right. Imad, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, Imad, then I just want you to, all right, just want you to keep a calculator in your hand. And whenever I ask you to do a calculation, so you're supposed to just do that and let me know the answer. All right. So now in C part, Iman, it says that find the आवाज आ रही है आप लोगों को? Can you hear me, Iman?
Yes.
Okay. Now, now in C part, it says, Iman, find the coefficient of x square in the expansion of this. So we have basically now we are basically supposed to find out the coefficient of x square when these two brackets are going to be multiplied. Now, we're not going to be writing down all the terms of this bracket. We're not going to be writing down all the terms of this bracket. I'm just going to write down the terms which I have evaluated of each of these brackets in the above parts. All right. So of this bracket, we had find out the first three terms. I'm going to write down over here in place of this bracket. That is 1 plus, what is that? 1 plus 5x plus 10x square. So basically, I have replaced this bracket with its first three terms. All right, and I'm going to replace this bracket now with the first three terms which we have found in the part B. That is 1 minus 12x plus 60x square. 1 minus 12x plus 60x square. All right, Miss Iman, now you are going to tell me what I'm going to do now. Do you have any idea? I hope you must have the idea. What I'm going to do?
We're going to multiply the brackets.
Will we be multiplying all the terms of each of these brackets?
No, like multiplying those terms so that we can get x square.
Yeah, which would yield us x square. So I'm going to multiply 1 with 60x square. I'm going to multiply 5x with 12x. I'm going to multiply 10x square with 1. All right, so I'm going to get 60x square. Then 5x times minus 12x is going to be minus 60x square. And then 10x square into 1 is plus 10x square. So eventually I'm going to get what? I'm going to get 10x square. And so the coefficient of x square is going to be just 10. I'm not going to write down x square. We are supposed to write down only the coefficient. So it's going to be 10, the final answer. All right. So is it clear to both of you? Come on, hurry up. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
In case if I do any sort of calculation mistake, do let me know. All right. Now, Imad Ahmed, what we are supposed to do in this? Imad Ahmed, any hints?
Sir, quadratic equation.
Okay. So I'm going to take the LCM now. All right. So it's going to be 2x minus c to the power of 4 minus 4 divided by 2x minus c whole square. Sorry, minus c. Yeah, minus c as well. Sorry. Minus 4 minus 3 times 2x minus c whole square divided by 2x minus 3 whole square equals to 0. All right, and then we have, I'm going to just move this onto the other side of the equation.
Variable में substitute नहीं कर देंगे?
Yeah, I will be doing so in a while. All right, now we have got this final equation after simplifying it. Now, it's your choice. Again, I'm saying it's your choice. They have asked you that to use a suitable substitution. So over here, I have 2x minus 3 raised to the power of 4. Over here, I have 2x minus 3 raised to the power of square. And so I'm going to take the substitution for 2x minus 3 whole square. I'm going to take that as equal to a. So this is going to be equal to then a square minus 3a minus 4 equal to 0. Is it clear up to this step? Siman. Siman, is it clear till now? Anything you want to ask?
No, sir. It's clear.
Okay. Now, Ahmad, you can just solve easily this quadratic equation. It's going to be a minus 4 and a plus 1 equal to 0. So we're going to have a is equal to 4, a is equal to 1. So I'm going to substitute a, I'm going to replace a with 2x minus 3 whole square. All right, in both of these. So I'm going to get 2x minus 3 equals to plus minus 2. I'm going to get 2x minus 3 equals to plus minus 1. I'm going to get x as what? 2 plus 3, 5 over 2. And minus 2 plus 3 is 1 over 2. Where I'm going to get x as 1 plus 3, 4 over 2, 2, and minus 1 plus 3 is going to be 2 over 2, 1. You just got x, 4 values of x. Is it clear or not, Miss Iman and Mr. Iman? Is it clear?
अरे -1 नहीं होगा.
A, where? It's going to be minus 1 plus 3. It's going to be 2 over 2.
4 और 1 वहाँ पे.
कहाँ पे?
4 और 1 पे -1.
Over here? No. It's going to be 1 plus 3.
सर ऊपर.
Oh, 4 and minus 1. Yeah, sorry. So we're not going to get any solution out of this. Sorry, my mistake. So we're not going to get any solution out of it. Just 2 solutions. All right. Thank you. No solution from here. All right. And we're just going to have 2 solutions to this equation. That is x equals to 5 over 2 and half. Is it clear, both of you? Okay. Come on. All clear. Question 2. Now let's move on to question 3. Come on, hurry up. Just let me know what we're going to do in this first step.
So we will multiply the denominator with 3 first.
Okay, tan theta plus 2 sin theta equals to 3 tan theta, Iman, and 6 sin theta. All right, yeah. And then
Now we
Iman,
will take like terms to one side.
Okay, 8 sin theta equals to 2 tan theta. Then we're gonna have tan theta equals to 4 sin theta. All right, and then we're gonna have sin theta over cos theta equals to 4 sin theta. And then I'm gonna have sin theta equals to 4 sin theta cos theta. Now, this is where students sometimes do the mistake. And that is they cancel out sin theta and sin theta. And that is where they do the mistake. We're not supposed to cancel out. All right, because if you're going to cancel this out, sin theta, this is not going to be technically wrong, but it's going to be practically wrong, because you're going to cancel this sin theta, you're going to fall short of 1 or 2 solutions. All right, and how will that happen? Let me show it to you. How you're gonna fall short of 1 or 2 solutions at the end if you're gonna cancel out the sin theta? That is because if we're gonna factorize instead of canceling out. So sin theta minus 4 sin theta cos theta equals to 0, and then we're gonna have sin theta bracket 1 minus 4 cos theta equal to 0. If we would have cancelled sin theta, so you would have just left with this 1 minus 4 cos theta. So you would have just got, now I have over here 2 equations, sin theta equal to 0. You would have fell short of this equation. You wouldn't have got this equation. And if you wouldn't have got this equation, you wouldn't have got the solutions of this equation. And overall, you would have fell short of the solutions, the total solutions which are supposed to be of this equation. So that's why you are not supposed to cancel. You're supposed to factorize so you can get this equation. All right. And then you have the another equation, that is 1 minus 4 cos theta equal to 0. Now, from here, you're going to have cos theta equals to 1 over 4. Now, although if you're going to solve this equation, you need to get values at 0, 180 degrees, 360 degrees, and so on like that. And we have the domain as 0 to 180, which means the solution to this equation is going to be the solution of this equation. The solutions of this equation are going to be 0 and 180 degrees. But because we don't have an equal to sign over here, we're not going to include 0 degrees and 180 degrees. But this is not always the case. You might have equal to sign in this domain. And so in that case, you would have lost some marks, because if there would have been an equal to sign in this domain, then these two solutions, 0 degree and 180 degree, would have been part of your final solutions. But because right now in this question, in the given domain, you don't have an equal to sign, so yeah, we don't be including 0 degree and 180 degree, which are the solutions of this equation. But keep this in your practice, that never cancel a function, always factorize it. All right, so yeah, we're not gonna get any solution from this equation, because the solutions of this equation are 0 degree and 180 degree, because there's no equal to sign included in the domain. So yeah, these two values does not lie within the given domain. So yeah, these are not going to be part of the solutions. Now cos theta equals to 1 over 4. Iman, then I'm going to take out first the basic angle, which is cos inverse. Iman, can you help me out? Cos inverse 1 over 4 in degrees. Cos inverse 1 over 4 in degrees. What is the value?
$75.5.
Yes. 75.5 degrees. Iman, I'm going to make the quadrants. All right, I have the value of cos theta as positive, so I'm going to have the general angles lying in the first quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. And then I'm going to have 75.5 degrees, 75.5 degrees. Then because the angles in your the angles in the given domain are all positive, these are all positive angles. So we're just going to be rotating in the anti-clockwise direction, so that we can get the positive general angles. So the first stop is going to be this. The second stop is going to be this. So the first stop is going to be 75.5. All right, and what is your angle? What the angle is theta. So the values of the general angles are going to be the values of theta. It's going to be 75.5 degrees. And Iman, what is going to be this value of the general angle? Next stop.
75.5 minus 360.
360 minus 75.5. It's going to be 284.5. All right, so these are going to be the solutions of the equation. I hope it is clear to both of you. Come on, just tell me.
Sir, range तो 180 में range तो 180
yeah.
के अंदर थी ना.
So you're not going to be including this. Never mind. Just this one. I'm not going to be including this. Okay. So just one solution of this equation as per within the given domain. The second one is basically lying outside the domain. So yeah. All right. Now next one. Question 4. Question 4. It is said that you have a line in a curve, and you are asked to find the set of values of k for which the line of curve have two distinct points of intersection. Iman, what we are supposed to do?
we will apply b square minus 4ac is greater than 0.
Okay. But before that, we're going to solve these two equations
We have to equate
simultaneously.
them.
Yeah, we need to first equate them, or rather, you can say that we'll be solving them simultaneously. We're not going to be completely solving them simultaneously, but yeah. So I have the substitution for y in this equation of line, and I've just substituted in the equation of curve in place of y. So I'm going to have x squared plus kx minus 3x plus 6 minus k equal to 0. All right, let's take out plus x. I factor out plus x plus 6 minus k. All right, and I'm going to use now the condition b square minus 4ac greater than 0. K minus 3 whole square minus 4 into 1 into 6 minus k greater than 0. K square minus 6k plus 9 minus 24 plus 4k greater than 0. Mr. Ahmad, is it clear or not? K square minus 2k minus 15 minus 6 plus 4 कितना हो गया minus 2 k square minus 2k minus 15 greater than 0. K square minus k minus 3k plus k minus 5k plus 3. K minus 5k plus 3. Now, what's the last step? Mr. Iman, what's the last step you're supposed to do? We have this quadratic inequality. Always remember, just always remember, I'm repeating it again. Always remember that whenever you have a quadratic inequality, you are supposed to first factorize this. All right. So you have on the left hand side of the inequality, the quadratic expression, you are supposed to factorize it. Always, always. If you aren't able to factorize this expression using the middle term breaking technique, that means you have done something wrong. All right. Just remember that. Whenever you're going to be dealing with, within your scope of curriculum, whenever you're going to be dealing with a quadratic inequality, you will be always be factorizing that quadratic expression. If that expression isn't getting factorized, that means there's something wrong in that expression. You must have done something wrong in the above steps. So just like over here, I have this expression, I factorize it, first step. And the next step, how to write down the final inequality representing the set of values of k. So whenever you have, now just do the working on the left hand side. I'm going to keep that, keep each of these factors equal to 0. So I'm going to get k as equal to 5 and k as equal to minus 3. All right. Whatever factors that you get, just keep them equal to 0 on one side of the page and just get the values of k. Now, when you have greater than 0, you're going to write down the final inequality as k less than the smaller value, which is minus 3, or k greater than the bigger value, which is 5. If this would have been less than 0, how you would have written the final inequality? You would have written down the smaller value, then less than, then k, then less than, then a bigger value. So you just need to remember how you write down the final inequality. There is, I'm not saying, I'm just not making you memorize. There is a logic, there is a background. There's a logic behind why we are writing down the final inequality in this form. When you have greater than 0, for a quadratic inequality, for a quadratic inequality, if you have greater than 0, why we are writing down the final inequality in this form? And when we have for a quadratic inequality less than 0, why do we write down the final inequality in this form? So there's a logic behind it. There's a derivation behind it. We don't have that much time that I explain you the derivation or the logic behind why we are writing in this way. I'm just I'll share you the link of the YouTube channel of Alva, and over there you have V1 P1 A-level mathematics P1 playlist. In that we have the lectures of the quadratic expressions and equations that are uploaded. So in one of the lecture parts, I have basically explained the logic behind this. That when you solve a quadratic inequality, first factorize it, and then how this is how the way we write down when you have greater than 0, and this is how we write down when you have less than 0. All right, is it clear or not, Mr. Iman and Mr. Imad? Is it clear or not, both of you? Just let me know. Hurry up.
Sir, the last part इसको inequalities में नहीं लिखेंगे in form of inequality.
Yeah, we have written in the form of inequality. This is how you're going to write down.
But like combine करके.
No, this is you cannot combine the two inequalities because this is less than -3, this is greater than 5. You cannot combine these two. All right. When you have less than 0, yeah, that's where you write down in this form -3 less than k less than 5. All right. Is it clear? When you have greater than 0, you have greater than 0 for a quadratic inequality, you're just first gonna factorize this expression. You've just got the two factors. I've just keep these two factors. You have to keep these two factors equal to 0 to get the values of k. Now, if you have in your inequality, quadratic inequality greater than 0, that's how you're going to finally write down the inequality. All right, representing the
Okay.
set of values of k. And if you're gonna have less than 0, Iman, so you're going to write down in this way, in this form, in this way basically, the final inequality. All right, from here, if you're gonna have less than 0, you're gonna write down in this way, the final inequality representing the set of values of k. If you have greater than 0, from here you're gonna write down the final inequality in this way, representing the set of values of k. All right, and I've already told you that there's a reason behind it, there's a logic behind it, and that's something I'm not going to explain. Not going to explain it right now because we don't have that much time. But you are always welcome to watch the lecture and just understand it. But anyways, you may do so later on. But right now, there is something you need to remember. When I teach this topic, I always explain the reason or the logic behind solving the quadratic inequality this way. Always explain the logic and the reason behind it. But when we are like solving the past papers, now we are not asked to explain the logic or the reasoning behind that. That's where I say that okay, now this is a time when you have to like remember now. All right, just remember it. But it's always good that you must have the idea of what is the logic behind it or what is the reason behind it. All right, as a student of mathematics, you should not leave anything or you should not learn anything without logic or without understanding the reason behind it. All right, but when you are like at this time when you are solving early past papers, you just need to remember how you're going to write down the final inequality, all right, representing the set of values k in which you, in case if you have greater than 0 or less than 0. Is it clear or not, Mr. Iman?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, now let's move on quickly. Let me do question 6 first or question 5. Okay, let's do question 5. All right, Imaz, in diagram, the graph of y equals to f of x is shown with solid lines. The graph shown with broken lines is okay. This graph has been transformed. This has been transformed. This graph has been transformed to this. So, Imad Ahmed, can you just tell me that what transformations this graph has undergone to become this?
Stretch
And
translation.
Translation. So, what is the translation vector? Translation along which axis?
Vertical axis.
Both. Translation along both axes, both axes, horizontal axis and as well as the vertical axis. So translation, and what is the translation vector?
Four to the right.
You have over here
minus 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
minus 4.
4.
सर राइट पे जाते हैं तो y x एक्सिस पे तो -4 होता है ना.
No.
x एक्सिस पे मेरा मतलब है.
No. That is, you are going to include minus in the function, not in the translation vector. All right, just remember that. If you are asked to state in terms of fx, okay, let me clear it to you. If you have f of x that has been translated towards right 4 units, so it's going to become f of x minus 4. But when you are going to be writing the translation vector, it's going to be plus 4. All right, like this. Always remember. Is it clear or not, Mr. Imad?
सही है.
Now, so the translation vector is going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and how much? 4 and how much? It's going to be 4 and basically just look at this point.
2.
Yeah, 4 into 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 4 and 2. Translation 4, 2. And now Iman is going to tell me that okay, we can just see that it has been stretched. So can you tell me that along which axis it has been stretched, and what is the stretch factor?
Is it 2?
सर वर्टिकल में हुई है ना 3 स्केल फैक्टर से.
No, it's going to be 2 now. First of all, it's going to be stretch along y-axis. The stretch factor of stretch along y-axis with a stretch factor of 1, 2. Yes, 2. It will be 2 because no, it's going to be 3. Iman is going to be 3. No, it's going to be it's going to be 2. But 2 or 3.
3 होगा.
Will it be 3 or 2, Iman? We have over here 1, 2, 3, 4. Iman, what's your opinion? Will it be 3 or 2?
सर कौन सा वेरिएंट है ये?
2021 March.
वेरिएंट.
We just have one variant in March, which is variant 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So translation is 4. So if this graph would have been just translated, it would have been like this. Let me show it to you. Would have been just like this. But it has been stretched along the y-axis. If it is stretched along the y-axis, so yeah, it should be 2, because initially no, it would be 3. Iman, this would be 3. Why? Because have a look at this. This is going to be first translated. Now this graph is going to be first translated only along the x-axis. This graph is going to be only translated first along the x-axis up to here. That is like this. Like this. All right. And from here, so the translation vector is going to be 4, 0. All right. And then from here, it has been stretched along the y-axis. All right. From here, it has been stretched along the y-axis. So just have a look at what has happened to the y-coordinates of each of these points, each of these 3 points. So the y-coordinate of this point has been increased from 2 to 6. The y-coordinate of this point has increased from 1 to 3, and the y-coordinate of this point has increased from 1 to 6 again. From 2 to 6. So basically, along x-axis, and then we have stretch along y-axis with a stretch factor of 3.
Sir, is it necessary to write translation? Can we just add or subtract with x? Like with y is equals to fx. Can we just subtract with it and write the answer?
Okay. You are saying that you just want to write down in terms of f of x.
Yes.
Okay. But they have actually asked you to describe, not write down the final function. All right. If they would have asked you to write down the final function, like if they would have asked you to write down what would be the function, what would be the function, or you would have been asked to write down the final function in terms of f of x of this graph, then you would have written down f of x minus 4. All right. And you would have multiplied with 2 times f of x minus 4. All right, Ms. Iman, 2 times f of x minus 4. You would have write down like this. If they would have asked you to write down the function of this transformed graph in terms of f of x, then you would have written it this way. But because you have been asked to describe fully, so that's why you need to write down in this way. You have to there's 1 mark for this. There's 1 mark for this, and 1 mark for this. So 2 marks for this, 2 marks for this. All right. Yes, Shreymat.
सर ट्रांसलेशन y एक्सिस में भी टू factors से नहीं होगी?
Why? Because if you're gonna translate this along the y-axis, all right, if I would move this graph over here like this, so then it would not have made sense, because when the graph undergoes stretch, when the graph is stretched, so the y coordinates of all the points, they get changed as per the stretch factor. All right. So if this graph would have been translated along the y-axis as well, okay, it would have been over here, Mr. Imad Ahmed. And if the graph would have been over here, then not all the only this point would have been stretched. This point would have been stretched, and this point would have remained unstretched. All right, because when you're saying that the graph is stretched, all right, when you have graph at some position, when you have, for example, graph over here, so now if it is going to get stretched along the y-axis, so each of the y coordinates of each of the points are going to get changed as per the stretch factor. So if you look over here, you have the y coordinate over here, not the x coordinate. X coordinates are not going to get changed, only the y coordinate. So you have the x coordinate over here 2, it has got changed to 6. That is, and over here it is 1. The y coordinate, it has changed to 3. Over here it is again 2, it has changed to 6. And same goes for all other points as well. So now this is making sense that, okay, after translation, you would have your graph over here, and from here it would get stretched, and you would have it finally over here at this position. Is it clear or not, Mr. Imad?
So yes, sir.
All right, Iman, then we have state in terms of y and yes. Now, Iman, you are asked to do so. What you were saying, you are asked to do so over here in part B. That is y equals to, you had just f of x. Now you're going to write down 3 times f of x minus 4. All right, x minus 4 representing the translation along the x-axis towards right, along the positive x-axis, the translation along the positive x-axis, and times 3 tells you that, okay, the graph has been stretched along the y-axis, along the positive y-axis. Is it clear or not, Mr. Iman? Iman, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Iman, come on, hurry up. Question 6. How are we going to start? On what you are supposed to do?
I guess this is a chain reaction. So
Find the rate of increase. So can you just tell me that how do we represent the rate of increase of any quantity? So like over here you are asked to find the rate of increase of the x coordinate. So can you just tell me how do we write down mathematically rate of increase of x?
dx over dt.
Dx over dt. Imad Ahmed, is it clear? And that's what we are supposed to find out, dx over dt. And Imad Ahmed, we have been told how the y coordinate is changing with respect to time, that is dy over dt, which is 3 units, and it's going to be plus 3 because it says that it is increasing. Okay, 3 units per second. Now I'm gonna write down I have basically equation. I have equation for dy over dx. All right, I'm gonna write down the chain reaction, chain equation. Basically, I'm gonna write down the chain equation which is going to be, I'm going to start off with dy over dt on the left. I'm going to split. All right. And I'm going to write down dx and dx because I have dy over dx. I'm going to write down dx and dx. Now, dy over dt is 3. dy over dx is going to be 6 divided by, at a, what is the x coordinate is 1. So I'm going to substitute 1 in place of x in dy over dx. That is 3 times 1 minus 2 whole cube times dx over dt, which you are supposed to find out. Okay. Then we're going to have 3 equals to 3 minus 2 is 1 cube. It's 1. 6 times dx over dt. So dx over dt is going to be equal to what? 0.5 units per second. Is it clear to both of you or not? Both of you. Okay. Is it clear, both of you or not? Come on, hurry up, students. Just let me know. Iman, is it clear or not?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay. Find the equation of the curve. Imad Ahmed, how you supposed to find out the equation of the curve?
Integrate करना पड़ेगा.
Integrate. So integral of what? Integral of what? It's 6 over 3x minus 2 whole cube. All right, dx. All right, so it's going to be integral of 6 bracket 3x minus 2 whole cube. It will be minus 3. 3x minus 2 minus 2 divided by minus 2 into 3. I hope I've done it correctly. Just let me know if I do anything wrong. Okay, so it's minus 2 divided by minus 2 to 3. Okay. We have over here this as the derivative of the expression inside the bracket. And I'm going to write down plus c. All right. And then, okay, so y is going to be equal to what? Minus 1 over 3x minus 2 whole square plus c. All right. Now I'm going to substitute values of the coordinates of point A because that is the point we have lying on the curve, minus 1 minus 3. So I'm going to minus 1 divided by 3 times. It's going to be 3 minus 2 is 1 whole square is 1. Minus 1 over 1 is minus 1. It's going to be c is equal to minus 2. So we're going to have y equals to minus 1 over 3x minus 2 whole square minus 2. Is it clear to both of you? Come on, hurry up. Just tell me. Iman, is it clear or not?
जी sir.
Sir, c minus 3 नहीं होगा.
No. Because this is going to be 1. I think I have just put it correctly. Yeah. So this is going to be 1. 1 square is 1. Minus 1 over 1 is minus 1. Minus 1 is going to move on the other side. Minus 3 plus 1 is going to be minus 2. All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's move on to the next question. We are done with 6 questions. Okay. Okay. So let's quickly do it. Completed square form. Okay. So for f of x, okay, we have x square plus 2x plus 3 f of x. So we have The coefficient of x square is plus 1. When you have the coefficient of x square is plus 1, we're going to move on to the next step. And that is, we're going to put up two pair of brackets, square on both. And I'm going to copy the constant plus 2. So I'm going to write down x. What I have with x is plus 2. I'm going to write down plus 1 and plus 1. If this would have been minus 2, I would have written down minus 1 and minus 1. All right. So Iman is going to be f of x equal to x plus 1 whole square. It's going to be minus 1 plus 2. F of x is going to be equal to x plus 1 whole square.
Sir,
G. Yes.
sir,
G, yes.
constant 3 है, 2 नहीं है.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Be 3. So minus 1 plus 3 is going to be. All right. Clear or not, Miss Iman? And Iman, what's your full name? Iman Ahmed. Iman, is it clear or not?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay, and Mr. Imad Ahmed, is it clear? I hope it is clear to you.
जी sir.
Okay. Now the next part, it says that no, we are supposed to find out the range of f. Iman, can you just tell me what would be the range of f of x? This is a quadratic function, and you can easily sketch the graph of this quadratic function because we have the coordinates of the turning point is minus 1 and 2. It's going to be turning like this. Like this. Now, okay, but the sketch would not be like this completely. It would be just this. All right, because the domain of f of x is less than or equal to minus 1. So you're going to be only sketching this part of the curve that is defined for the values of x less than or equal to minus 1. I haven't drawn this part of the curve because your domain is less than or equal to minus 1. So I've just sketched this part of the curve that is defined for values of x less than or equal to minus 1. Now, just by looking at this curve, can you just tell me, Mr. Imad Ahmed, what would be the range of f?
Y greater than equal to 2.
Y greater than or equal to 2. F of x is greater than or equal to 2. You can just see that for values of x that is less than or equal to minus 1, you have all the values of y that are greater than or equal to 2. Is it clear or not, Ms. Iman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next question. Find the expression for f inverse. Iman, there's a question for you, and that is, will f of x be having inverse or not?
No.
Why?
Because because if we take the quadratic equation, we would get two answers for x. So instead, we should take the completed form
Okay,
of.
but okay, it's fine. But even if I take the completed square form, fair enough. So will now fx be fx having inverse or not?
Yes.
Okay. Now if I change the domain, like if I change the domain from x less than equal to minus 1, if I change it to x belongs to real numbers, now for this domain, you're going to have this kind of a graph of f of x, a never-ending graph of f of x for this domain, x belongs to real numbers. Now, what do you think? Will now be f of x will fx now have an inverse?
No, I don't think so.
And
सर ब्रेक करना पड़ेगा.
there is, there's a reason behind it. Do you know the reason why? F of x will not have the inverse if I change the domain from x less than equal to -1 to x belongs to real numbers. Do you know the reason behind it? Because this is a question that is asked. Not in this paper it has been asked, but it has been asked. It's been asked that why f of x does not have an inverse. All right. So let me just recall for you people that when this question is being asked, so what you are supposed to answer. Now, it's just that what I'm just recalling it. You people must have been taught in your college, but let us recall because this is important. And always remember, let us first evaluate the expression for f inverse of x. So I'm going to write down y equals to. I'm going to replace f of x with y. I'm gonna use this form of the form of f of x, not this one because I cannot factor out x. I cannot make the subject x from this form. I have to use this form of f of x because I need to make x the subject. All right, so x plus 1 whole square minus plus 2 this is what we have. Okay, yeah. Now, when we talk about inverse function, so basically the input and the output variables, they get switched. All right, the input variable becomes the output variable. So I'm going to make x the subject of the equation. It's going to be y minus 2. And then I'm going to take the square root. Sorry. Let me x plus 1 whole square. It's going to be y minus 2. Then x plus 1 is going to be plus minus square root y minus 2. And then you're going to have x is equal to 1 plus minus 1 minus 1 plus minus square root y minus 2. All right. Now, let me just recall for you people, and that is, look, this is what we call as a relationship. All right. And if for example the domain is x belongs to real numbers, all right, and so you're gonna have the curve like this. All right, if the domain would be x belongs to real numbers, you're going to have the graph of this function like this. The graph is not gonna end on either end. It's not gonna. It's going to be the graph is going to be like that, like this for the domain x belongs to real numbers. And now this shows that this is an exam. This tells that this relationship is basically many to one relationship. All right. For this domain, you're gonna have the graph of f of x like this, and this tells you that for this domain, your relationship is many to one relationship. And many to one relationship means that for one value, for one output, for multiple input values, you have the same output value. All right. For example, if you have 3, so you have for this output variable, for this output value of 3, you have 2 corresponding input values, this one and this one. So for many input values, you have the same output value. So for this domain, you're gonna have the graph of a quadratic function like this. And so this tells you that this f of x is basically a many to one function. It's a many to one relationship. All right, and look over here. When we have found the inverse relationship, now this is what we call as an inverse relationship. I'm not going to call this as an inverse function, Iman and Imad. We're not going to call this as an inverse function right now. Right now, we're not going to call it. We're just going to call it an inverse relationship. Because we know that not all relationships are categorized as functions. All right. There's a relationship. Now, this is what we call as, for this domain, you have got this relationship. This is an inverse relationship. And right now, it is a one-to-many relationship. one-to-many relationship. Why, Iman? Because this is the output value, the output variable. So for one input value, due to plus and minus both, we're going to get multiple output values. So for one input value, due to plus and minus, we're going to get many output values. So this is an example of one-to-many relationship. And all kinds of all one-to-many relationships are not categorized as functions. A function is a kind of a relationship where you have one output value against each input value. So this kind of a relationship, because it does not yield one output value against each input value, it is yielding many output values against each input value. Therefore, this kind of relationship is not categorized as a function. So right now, this relationship is a one-to-many relationship. So we cannot call it as an inverse function. I will be just calling it as an inverse relationship. It is basically one-to-many relationship by nature. And I'm not going to call it as inverse function as of now. Now, how would I have then the inverse function? How would I have then the inverse function of f of x if I have a quadratic function? If I have a quadratic function, so all the time, if I'm going to have an inverse relationship, that is going to be of this nature, one-to-many. But there's still a way we can have a inverse function. For a quadratic function, we can still have an inverse function. There's still a way we can by which we can have an inverse function for a quadratic function. And but for that, we need to restrict the domain. We need to make some changes to the domain. All right. Now, what I'm going to do that. Right now, you have the domain for f of x, that is x less than equal to -1. All right. And Iman, when you have domain x is equal to -1, so I'm going to then omit. I have omitted this part of this section of the curve. All right, because I have the domain defined for values of x only for defined for only those values of x less than equal to -1. So I've omitted this section or this portion of the curve. So for this domain, you have this section of the curve. And if you look at this section of the curve, now, this is representing a function that is one-to-one function. Or this is representing the graph of a relationship that is a one-to-one relationship, because now this graph is not turning. I mean, it is not turning. If it is, so it is then it could represent the graph of a one-to-one relationship. Now, for this only section of the curve, for this only portion of the curve, for each input value, you're gonna have only one output value. And so now you can say that this part, or only this section, or only this curve, or only this part of the curve, or only this section of the curve is representing a one-to-one relationship. So just by making some changes to the domain, you have actually now have this quadratic function. Now you don't have it for this domain. For this domain, you don't have this as a many-to-one relationship. Now, for this domain, you have this relationship as one-to-one relationship. Now for this domain, you have one-to-one relationship. And now, Iman, if you're going to evaluate the inverse relationship, so the inverse relationship of one-to-one is going to be one-to-one. All right. So now in this inverse relationship, now for this domain, when I'll be evaluating the inverse relationship, I'll be omitting this either plus or minus. I'll be only having one. And how would I know? Because I have the domain x is less than equal to -1. That is, the values of x must be less than or equal to -1. I have x over here. Let's say I have x over here. So the values of x must be less than or equal to -1. For values of x to be less than or equal to -1, I must have -1 and minus this, not plus this. If I would include plus square root of y minus 2, then it would yield values of x that are greater than minus 1. If I would include only minus square root of minus square root of y minus 2, then it would yield me values of x that are less than or equal to minus 1. So for this domain, I have this relationship as 1-on-1, and for this domain, I'm going to have my inverse relationship that's also going to be 1-on-1, and in that I'm going to have only minus 1 minus this. Is it clear to both of you or not? So, and always remember that you have this this turning point is basically your limiting value. This turning point is your limiting value. What do you mean by limiting value? That means you can have for a quadratic function. I'm specifically talking about quadratic function. For a quadratic function, you can have an inverse function only when your domain is defined either less than or equal to the turning point or greater than or equal to the turning point. All right. So the minimum value of x, or the maximum value of x for which you can have the inverse function of a quadratic function is basically the x coordinate of the turning point. So if it is x less than or equal to minus 1, so minus 1 becomes the maximum value of x for which you have the inverse function of the quadratic function. If you're gonna have if the domain is like x greater than or equal to minus 1, then minus 1 is going to become the minimum value of x for which the quadratic function will have the inverse function. And also sometimes in the question it does says that write down the greatest value or the least value or the smallest value or the minimum value or the maximum value of x for which your quadratic function has an inverse function. So whether it says greatest, whether it says least, whether it says biggest, whether it says smallest, whether it says maximum, whether it says minimum value of x for which the quadratic function has a inverse function. So that value of x is always basically the x coordinate of the turning point. Is it clear to both of you or not? Just let me know. Come on, hurry up. Okay, so now you have this final inverse relationship. That's what you have decided. All right, now this inverse relationship, because now it's 1-on-1, you can regard this as a function, and I'm going to be regarding it as an inverse function. I've replaced x with the output variable. Now I would be replacing y with x on both sides of the equation. And so this is what you're going to have as your expression for the inverse. All right, and if you whatever the the domain, look, the domain for f of x is what? Less than or equal to minus 1. What is the range of f of x for this domain? That is greater than or equal to 2. Now for f inverse x, it's going to switch. So the domain for f inverse of x is going to become 2, greater than or equal to, and the range of f inverse of x is going to be less than or equal to minus 1. Although it has not been asked, but that's what I just want to tell you, people. Is it clear or not to both of you? Imad Ahmad, just tell me. Hurry up. Imad Ahmad, is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we have g f of x then. So we need to input f of x in g. So 2 times x square plus 2x plus 3 plus 1 equals to 13. That's what we have. Plus 1, yeah. 2x square plus 4x plus 6 plus 1 minus 13 equal to 0. it's going to be 7 minus 2x square plus 4x plus 7 minus 13 is minus 6. It will be x square plus 2x minus 3 equal to 0. It's going to be x plus 3, x minus 1 equal to 0. X equal to minus 3 and 1. Is it clear or not, both of you? Man, is it clear? Iman, is it clear? Okay, Ahmad Ahmed, next question. Find the equation of the circle. Ahmad, you have 3 points. X minus a whole square, y minus b whole square equals to r square. All right. Ahmed, x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square equals to r square.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to substitute 7 minus a whole square, Ahmad, plus 1 minus b whole square equals to r square. I'm going to substituting 7 minus a whole square plus 9 minus b whole square. All right. Then I'm going to substituting 1 minus a whole square, 9 minus b whole square equals to r square. All right. From these two equations, I'm going to be substituting these two equations. All right. So it's going to be 7 minus a whole square plus 1 minus b whole square equals to 7 minus a whole square plus 9 minus b whole square equals to r square. Oh, sorry. Right. This and this is going to get cancelled. So it's going to be 1 minus 2b plus b square equals to 81 minus 80b plus b square. B square going to get cancelled. So it's going to be then 16b equals to 80, and so b is going to be 5. Is it clear or not, Mr. Ahmad Ahmed?
Yes, sir. सर इससे सिंपल तरीका ये नहीं है हम सर्कमफेरेंस का वो निकालने के क्या कहते हैं वो क्यों?
How would you know? How would you know that these 2 points, that are lying on the circumference, if you're going to join them, you will going to get the diameter. There isn't anything told in the question that BC or AC or AB, it is a diameter. It may be like this. Yeah, you may have like points like this, B or C. All right, that's one. Now let's substitute B in. Now let me substitute what? Let me substitute these two equations now. So I'm going to have 7 minus a whole square plus 9 minus b whole square equals to 1 minus a whole square plus 9 minus b whole square. All right, 7 minus a whole square plus 1 minus a whole square plus 9 minus b whole square. Okay. So this is going to get cancelled. 49 minus 14a plus a square equals to 1 minus 2a plus a square. 1 minus 2a plus a square, and 49 minus 14a plus a square. A square is going to get cancelled, and it's going to be 12a equals to 48. A is going to be equal to 4. All right. A4. And I'm now going to substitute so let me substitute 7 minus 4 whole square plus 9 minus 5 whole square equals to r square. R square is going to be equal to what? 7 minus 4 is what? 3 square, 9. 9 plus 16, 25. 25. And so you're going to have equation then x minus a, which is x minus 4 whole square plus y minus 5 whole square equals to 25. Is it clear or not, Mr. Imad Ahmed? Imad Ahmed, is it clear or not?
एक सेकंड सर मैं देख रहा हूँ.
Okay. Iman? Is Iman over here?
सर अभी मेरी क्लास का क्लैश है.
When?
अभी मतलब एक दूसरी क्लास स्टार्ट हो गई है.
It has it started or it is going to start in 5
Yeah, it
minutes?
has started.
Okay, we're just going to end. Where are we? We are in question 8, and how many questions we have? We're going to have 11 questions, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of
So,
questions.
and you said that you have classes on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. What about that?
No, I do have classes on Monday as well, like for chemistry.
Okay. So, can you just let me know the schedule of Monday? You have told me about Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You haven't told me about Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah. Basically, I
Just let.
was having extra class today.
Okay, you are having an extra class today. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just let me finish up this question of question 8, and then you may leave, and I'll
Okay.
share with you. I'll share with you the recording. Then you may just go through question 9, 10, and 11. All right, but just let me complete this question 8. Imad Ahmed, is it clear or not?
जी सर.
Iman, have you just gone through this question while I was just explaining?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then we have find equation of tangent to the circle at B. How would you find out the equation of the tangent to the circle at B? Iman, how do you find out the equation of tangent of a circle at B? Like this. This is point B. This is the center point. So you'll be find out the coordinates of the center point. Huh? What are the coordinates of the center point? It's going to be 4 and 5. Basically, A and B in this equation of circle, A and B are the coordinates of the center point. Huh? We have 4 and 5 as your coordinates of the center point. And what are the coordinates of B, which is 7 and 9? So now you can find out the gradient 4 over 3. 9 minus 5 is 4 over 3. Okay. And y minus 5 equals to 4 over 3 x minus 4. All right, so it's going to be 3y minus 15 equals to 4x minus 16. So it's going to be 3y equals to 4x minus 1. Is it clear or not, Mr. Imad and Ms. Iman?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Iman, you may leave now. And will you be joining the class of P3? When will this class end, which has just started?
It's about 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay, you may join after that. All right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Allah Hafiz. Imad Ahmed, next question. Imad, can you just tell me what the first term of progression is cos theta? And progression is geometric, the sum to infinity. is 1 over cos theta. So it's 1 over cos theta, it's sum to infinity. A is cos theta divided by 1 minus r. So 1 minus r is equal to cos square of theta. Ahmad, am I doing something wrong? No, I'm not. 1 over cos theta is the sum to infinity. A is cos theta and 1 minus r. So it's going to be r is going to be equal to 1 minus cos square theta. So r is going to be equal to sine square theta. Okay. What is going to be the second term? The second term is going to be AR. All right, and A is going to be cos of theta times sine square of theta. Is it clear or not, Mr. Imad Ahmed?
चाहिए sir.
And Imad says find the sum of the first 12 terms when theta is pi by 3. When theta is pi by 3, so S12 equals to A bracket 1 minus r to the power of n divided by 1 minus r. So first 12 terms. So A is cos of pi by 3. 1 minus r is sine theta whole square to the power of 12 divided by, let me write down pi by 3 in place of, all right, and then we're going to have 1 minus cos pi by 3. It's going to be half times 1 minus, can you do it for me, Mr. Imad Ahmed?
सर एक सेकंड कर रहा हूँ.
It's going to be square root of 3 over 2 to the power of 14 divided by half. When half is going to get cancelled, so just take out the value of this. No, this is going to be 2 times 24. It's not going to be 14, it's going to be 24. Sorry, my mistake.
सर मेरा आंसर तो 0.822 आया है, लेकिन गलत है.
Again, what are you saying?
मेरा आंसर गलत आ रहा है, या तो कोई गलती कर रहा हूँ मैं.
Just write down in calculator first, like this. Whatever the answer that you get, then subtract it from 1. Whatever the answer that you get, then do 1 minus answer. No. Wait. I've done something wrong. Sorry. This is going to be 1 minus sine pi by 3 whole square. Yeah. Now do it.
साइन क्यों?
Because r is basically sine square, not cos. Cos theta is a. I've just written it. I just wrote it mistakenly. Now calculate the value of this, Imad Ahmed. I don't know about the value of this. It's going to be
सर आर साइन थीटा स्क्वायर नहीं है.
yeah. So I put up the square. Huh?
सही है.
It's going to be 3 over 4 1 minus 3 over 4 is 1 over 4. Yeah. And half divided by 1 over 4 is basically 2. 2 times 1 minus square root of 3 over 2. All right.
सर पावर 24 को नेक्स्ट 12 टर्म्स की होनी चाहिए.
What?
पावर 24 क्यों नेक्स्ट 12 टर्म्स की चाहिए ना.
No, because we have over here square, then 2 times 12 is going to become 24. That's why.
सही.
What is the answer that you were getting?
1.93.
1.93. But you are supposed to write down correct to 4 significant figures. So you need to add up one more decimal place.
1.937.
Right? Is it clear or not?
सही है सर.
For the case where the progression is arithmetic, first two terms are again cos theta, sin square theta respectively.
सर एक सवाल पूछना है पिछले पार्ट से.
Yeah.
इसमें जो हमने वो आर की पावर ली है 12, वो हम 11 नहीं लेंगे.
No, this is not n minus 1. This is n.
अगर अगर हम वो ले रहे होते क्या कहते हैं टर्म फाइंड आउट कर रहे होते डायरेक्ट ए आर
Yeah.
जो
Then we do n minus 1. Yeah.
सही है.
All right. Okay. For the case where the arithmetic is progression is arithmetic, the first two terms are again. So what we're gonna have cos theta, sin square theta minus cos theta. So t is gonna become what? Cos theta, sin square theta minus 1. So minus cos theta, 1 minus sin square theta. T is gonna be minus cos theta times cos square theta. T is gonna be minus cos 2 theta. Is it clear or not? And so T85 is gonna be A, which is cos theta plus 84 times minus cos 2 theta. T85 is gonna be cos pi by 3 minus 84 cos pi by 3 whole cube. All right. So it's going to be half minus 84 half cube. It's going to be 1 over 8. 1 over 8 times 84 is 10 and a half. 10 and a half means 21 over 2. So 1 over 2 minus 21 over 2 is going to be minus 10. Is it clear or not, Mr.
सही है सर.
All good? That's great. Question 10. Diagram shows a sector ABC, which is part of a circle of radius A. The diagram shows a sector ABC, which is part of a circle of radius A. The points G and E lie on AB and AC respectively, and are such that AD equals to AE. Okay. The line DE divides the sector in two regions which are equal in area. Okay, the areas are equal. Okay. For the case where angle BAC is, okay, this is pi by 6. Find K. How are we gonna find out K? How we are gonna find out K, Mr. Imad Ahmed? Baad Ahmed, how are we gonna find out K?
क्या करेंगे सर?
Diagram shows a sector. Find K correct to four significant figures. Yes. Yes, Imad.
सर हम जो ट्रायंगल का एरिया ADE उसका एरिया निकालें इन टर्म्स ऑफ ए, फिर जो सेक्टर है उसका एरिया निकालें और ट्रायंगल में से माइनस करें और दोनों को इक्वल रखें, ट्रायंगल और जो हमने माइनस किया उसको।
Okay. How would
फिर
you
जो
find out? Area of triangle is going to be half AB, half A into K into sine pi by 6. Okay. Area of triangle is going to be equal to half times half is 1 over 4. A square, A square. All right. Okay. And then we have what? So can I say basically that area of sector is 2 times the area of triangle?
yes sir,
Because you have these two areas are equal. These two areas are equal, so yeah, I can say that the area of sector is basically 2 times the triangle.
सही है
All
सर।
right. Area of sector is half A square pi by 6 equals to 2 times 1 over 4 A square A square. A square is
ये
gonna
क्या
get cancelled.
ये क्या करा है, हाफ ए स्क्वायर पाई बाय 6?
Half R square theta, the area of sector. Radius is A. Half A square theta is basically the angle subtended at the center.
सर ये पूरे सेक्टर का एरिया नहीं हो जाएगा?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That the area of the sector is 2 times the area of the triangle because these two
अच्छा
areas are
सही है सही है सही है सही, मल्टीप्लाई बाय 2 कर दिया।
yeah. So this and this, all this is gonna get cancelled.
सही है।
A square is gonna be pi by 6. So what is the value of gonna be K? Correct to four significant figures.
Zero point 7236।
Yes, 0.724.
7236।
7236. All right. For a general case in which angle BAC is theta radians, it is given that theta over sine theta greater than 1. Find a set of possible values of K. So we're gonna just pick up this equation. I'm gonna replace 1 half A square theta. I'm gonna just remove pi by 6 and replace it with A. I'm gonna replace pi by 6 with theta. So half A square theta is equal to 2 times 1 over 4. Sorry. 1 over 2. 2 times 1 over 2. A square sine theta. All right. Yeah. So half and half is gonna get cancelled. A square is gonna get cancelled. So you're going to be left with theta equals to A square sine theta. A square is equal to theta over sine theta. theta over sine theta is greater than 1. K square is greater than 1. Is it clear or not, Mr. Imad Ahmed?
सर ये क्या करा है आपने 2k² कुछ तो थीटा हो तो 2k² ग्रेटर देन 1 कैसे हो गया?
We have this has been told over here, now. Theta over sine theta is greater than 1. So I have replaced theta over sine theta with greater than 1.
सही है.
Right? Then I'm gonna it's going to be square root of 2k minus 1 square root of 2k plus 1. Agreed or not, Mr. Imad Ahmed?
सही है.
So I'm going to write down now the values of k is going to be 1 over square root of 2 minus 1 over square root of 2. K less than k greater than 1 over square root of 2. Agreed?
सर प्लस माइनस कैसे हुआ वो 2√k -1 और +1?
If this would have been 4k square, what you would have done? 2k minus 1, 2k plus 1. Agreed?
सही है.
But over here you don't have 4, you have 2. Instead of 2k minus 1, you're going to write down square root of 2k minus 1. Square root of 2 times k plus 1. Alright? So I have expressed this, I have factorized it as a minus b and a plus b. In place of k square, you're going to get k. In place of 1, you're going to get 1. But in place of 2, you're not going to get, you're going to get square root of 2, square root of 2. Alright?
सही है.
Or you may write down this step first. Square root of 2 times k whole square minus 1 square. You have this expression a square minus b square. I've written this in this form. I factorize it. Now this is your final set of values of k. Is it clear or not?
सही है सर.
One last question. The diagram. So you need to just put up the value 9x minus half. No. Minus 4x minus 4x minus 3 over 2. Again, I've put up the value of y as equal to 0. Put up the value of y equal to 0. This is the x-intercept. Now I'm going to write down x to the power of half minus 4 over x to the power of 3 over 2 equals to 0. I'm going to write down x minus 4 divided by x to the power of 3 over 2 minus 0. Value of x is going to be equal to 4. Is it clear or not, Mr. Iman?
सही है सर.
All right. Find the equation of the tangent to the curve at A. So, over dx, 9 is going to be minus half x minus half minus plus 4 into 3 over 2 is going to be 6 x minus 5 over 2. Right? Okay. At A, what is the x coordinate? It's 4, I think. Yeah. So 9 minus half, 4 to the power of minus 1 over 2, 6 or minus 5 over 2. So 4 to the power 1 over square root of 4. 1 over square root of 4 is basically 2. It's going to be 1 over 2. 1 over 2 into minus 1 over 2 is going to be minus 1 over 4. And this is going to be 1 over 4 to the power of 5 over 2 is going to be 2 to the power of 5, 1 over 32. 1 over 32 means plus 6 over 32. So it's going to be 8. Minus 8 plus 6 is going to be minus 2 over 32. And minus 1 over 16, minus 9 over 16 is going to be the tangent at A. Tangent to the curve at A. Gradient of the tangent of the curve at A would be minus 9 over 16. So I'm not going to find the equation y minus no, I need to find out the y coordinate as well of A, which is going to be y equals to 9 brackets 4 or minus
सर
half.
y तो 0 है ना A का.
Oh yeah, y is 0. So it's going to be y minus 0 equals to m is going to be minus 9 over 16, x minus 4.
सर ये आपका ग्रेडियंट गलत आया है.
गलत आ रहा है?
जी.
Why? Because it's going to be this is going to be half 1 over square root of 4 is going to be half. Half into minus half is minus 1 over 4. And this is going to be 1 over 32. 1 over square root of 4 is 2 to the power of 5 is 32. 1 over 32 times 6 is 6 over 32. Let's take the LCM. It's going to be 32 and it's going to be then 8. So minus 8 plus 6 is going to be minus 2 over 32. It's going to be minus 9 over 16. How is that wrong?
9/8 है आंसर सही सर.
How are you getting 8?
सर मैं मार्किंग स्कीम से चेक करके बता रहा हूँ जस्ट इन केस अगर गलत आ रहा है.
Let me check. So minus half x. Oh, my mistake. It's going to be minus 3 over 2, not minus half. So it's going to be 2 times 8. 1 over 8. So it's minus 1 over 16. It's going to be 4 over 32. Which is going to be minus 2 plus 6 is going to be 4 over 32. It's going to be 1 over 8, 9 over 8. Yeah. 9 over 8. Nine x minus 36. 16y. Now this is what the equation you're gonna get. Is it clear or not, Mr. Mahad Ahmad?
तो 16y कैसे?
Sorry, 8y. 8y equals to 9x minus 36. Is it clear?
सही है सर.
All right. Find the x coordinate of the maximum point of the curve. So dy by dx is what? 9 bracket minus half x minus 3 over 2. And then we have 6x minus 5 over 2. Okay. Let's keep that equal to 0. So we're going to have minus 2x to the power of 3 over 2 plus 6 over x 5 to the power of 5 over 2 equal to 0. Then I'm going to multiply with x, so it's going to be minus x plus 12, I think, yeah. 2x to the power of 5 over 2. So x is going to be equal to minus 12. All right. Is it clear or not, Mr. Ahmad Ahmed? Hurry up.
सही है सर.
Okay, then area of the region bounded by the curve, the x-axis and x equals to 9.
dy over dx को हमने 0 रखा है ना पार्ट सी में.
So we need to find out the area of this. Yes, in part C we have kept dy over dx. Area from 4 to 9. You just need to integrate the equation. All right. It's going to be area from 4 to 9. All right, and 9x to the power of minus half minus 4x minus 3 over 2. Going to be half divided by half minus.
सर हमें ये 4 हमें लिमिट कैसे ली? 9 तो सही है, 4 कैसे ली?
Find the area of the region bounded by the curve and the x-axis. So your curve is basically intersecting the x-axis at a equals a, where the x-coordinate is 4. Of course, you don't have any part of the curve under the x. You don't have any area under the curve when you have x that is less than 4. So of course you're going to have the limit as 4, the lower limit. From
Right.
4 to 9, you have the area of the region under the curve bounded by the x-axis. It's going to be minus 3 over 2 plus 1 is going to be minus half divided by minus half. So it's going to be then, it's going to be 2x half plus 8 over x. 8 over x half. Three to the 6 plus 8 over 3. And this is going to be minus 2 to the 4 and minus 8 over 2 is 4. So 6 minus 4 is 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 4 is minus 2, and minus 2 plus 8 over 3 is 2 over 3. And it's going to be 6 units square. Is it clear or not, Mr. Ahmad Ahmed?
सही है सर.
All right, so we are done with this paper. And inshallah, in tomorrow's class of P1, we're going to be moving on to the next paper, and that would be summer 2021 1-2. And Ahmad Ahmed, you are supposed to, and you and everyone else are supposed to solve this paper. You are supposed to solve this paper before tomorrow's class. All right, you're going to time it, and you're going to check it. You're going to time it, you're going to check it, and in the class, I'm going to be solving the whole paper. And of course, while solving the whole paper, of course, all of your queries are going to get resolved automatically. All right, Mr. Ahmad, but you need to solve it yourself while timing it. All right, and then you have to check it and score it as well. Is it clear or not, Mr. Ahmad?
सही है सर.
Okay, we'll meet tomorrow, inshallah.
अल्लाह हाफिज़.